Hello, welcome to another episode of the Holistic Wellbeing with Evelyn Jerry. I hope you've enjoyed our previous episodes. This being the month of love, we are going to be discussing all about fear. And the reason as to why we are discussing fear is because it stops us from achieving a lot of things in terms of relationships, in terms of work, career, education, and anything that you want to achieve. So we are going to start with the body, and our topic for today is how anxiety affects weight loss and weight gain. Okay, let me start by defining what anxiety is. Anxiety is being worried about unnecessary things. Like, anxiety is when you are afraid about something that hasn't happened. Like, you're living in the future. You are worried about, let's say, maybe today you have an interview. You're worried that it will go wrong and you haven't even gotten there yet. You're scared about, you start anticipating all the things that could go wrong. That is what anxiety is. And you can be anxious about any kind of thing. It can be work, it can be a date, it can be, I don't know, like meeting new people. And there are all sorts of anxieties. Like, you can be anxious about anything. Like, you can be anxious about anything. Mostly, I find that, having battled anxiety myself, anxiety is one of the issues that I have dealt with myself. And I find that most of the time, what makes me anxious is when I am about to, especially when I'm going for something I really love, something that I really want, and I start getting a fear of maybe failing, or fear for, you just start anticipating something that will go wrong. So when it comes to the body, we are going to discuss about how does anxiety affect weight loss and weight gain. And one of the ways it affects is, like, you find when you are anxious, some people tend to eat a lot. It's a coping mechanism. You find like maybe you are going to be tempted to constantly eat. Like your first response is you always feel hungry. Like, you want to constantly eat, and you want to give yourself some sort of pleasure through food to distract you away from whatever you're afraid of. Other people find themselves not eating at all. You find like there are people who they lose their appetite whenever they are anxious about something, or maybe you find like they feel nauseated, like they feel like vomiting, and that's why you find like they don't want to eat anything, especially if they're anxious about something that is to come. Another way that the anxiety affects the body, weight loss and weight gain, is you find yourself like, there are people who, when they are anxious, they are constantly moving, like pacing. Like in those movies when you find someone, how will you tell someone is anxious about something? They are pacing from one place to another, like continuous pacing, constant movement. They are not able to sit down for long, because I guess when they sit down, or you find them shaking their leg or their hands, like there's constant movement with their body. And when they have constant movement with their body, that's when you realize that, that's when you find that they are losing calories while doing that. This person cannot sit in one place at a time. Like, they are constantly moving, and if they are going somewhere, they're going very fast. They do their things very quickly, yeah. And you find through that they are losing a lot of calories and resulting to weight loss. Another way that anxiety affects weight loss or weight gain is you find there's a speed up in metabolism, like your brain is constantly working. Your brain is constantly working, and also even the pacing that I was talking about, you find that it increases the metabolism of the body, which results to weight loss for some people. But every single person has a different type of metabolism. So if you have a slow metabolism, you find that it won't affect you that much, or maybe it will result in you gaining weight. But if you have a high metabolism, you find that you start constantly losing weight, like drastically. Have you ever met someone who lost a lot of weight? Like, it doesn't make sense how fast they lost their weight. You even wonder whether they were sick or not. Some people, when they are highly stressed, they lose weight, while others gain weight. People have different types of bodies and all that. So another thing is when you find that people change their lifestyle, especially when you're suffering through anxiety. So one of the ways you can actually handle anxiety is through exercise and diet. So if you start eating healthy, and also when you exercise, what usually happens is that it burns the stress hormones, and it becomes an energy booster, and it gives you energy to be able to do the things that are ahead of you, and it helps you to calm your nerves. This is something that I do a lot. Like, even when I don't work out for a while, I find my anxiety, like I start getting anxious about things, because I like all that energy and my mind is constantly running, and I want to achieve all these things. So I find myself getting really anxious about things and all that. So how do I manage this anxiety? One of the things that I realized when it comes to anxiety, if you're anxious about getting somewhere on time, or maybe you have an interview, you have a date, and you're anxious about it, one of the things that I do is ensure that I'm there either a few minutes before or on time. That gives me time to calm down, take deep breaths and all that, and I will be able to handle whatever is ahead of me without panicking or without anxiety. The other thing is be prepared. If it is an interview, if you're having a meeting with someone, if you are preparing for a date, be prepared. Take a day before, do your research, get your facts right and all that. I know it sounds bad saying that you should do your research on a date, but as in, you can check yourself, ask yourself, am I ready for this date? How am I feeling about going out on this date? What exactly am I looking for? Why am I doing it? You know, like, ask yourself all those questions. Even in terms of a meeting, like, what exactly do I want to achieve in this meeting? What exactly do I want to achieve? And you find yourself when you are going, or when you are at that meeting, you find that you are going to be ready. You are going to be ready for anything that comes your way, and you will not be shocked by whatever answer or question that will come your way. So you prepare yourself mentally that things can go well or wrong. They can go either way. You are not in control of what will happen in the future. No one ever is. So the moment you know that, it's going to help you calm down. And then again, I want to remind you what anxiety is. It is, you are worried about something that hasn't even happened. You're worried about something that hasn't happened. So it means that anything can happen. Something good or something bad. Either way, it hasn't happened yet, and you learn to live in the present so that you can be able to deal with something as it comes. But if you anticipate something going wrong, you find that sometimes you will overreact over something because you were like, yes, I knew it will happen. Like, has something ever gone wrong, but not exactly how you had thought about it, but just because you were anxious about it, your first reaction will be so heavy that you might actually cause it to become worse than it is. Food for thought, like you should think about that. So sometimes it's good to deal with things as they come. It's good to believe that things are going to go well. That's why we do affirmations. You believe that you deserve good things, you attract good people, you attract good things your way, and you are going to make good decisions. So the moment you trust yourself and you know what you want, then you find things go well. And if they don't, at least you will know how to handle them. But if you go there with an anticipation of something going wrong, even when something seems to be going wrong but they're not going wrong, or they're not going according to your plan, you will find yourself reacting in a way that will destroy everything that's ahead of you. So yeah, pointers: exercise, be prepared, be there on time. And if you have more tips, you can comment down below and tell us more about what you think anxiety is. Give us your anxiety stories. I actually promised to give an anxiety story. There's this time I went for an interview. It was an audition, and it was a record label which was giving a record deal, and they were looking for artists. And I remember I wasn't well, I was sick, and that even made my anxiety even worse because I had a cold. I'm supposed to sing. I don't know how my voice sounds, and I wasn't well prepared because I received the calls for audition like a day or two before. So by the time I was going there, I wasn't feeling prepared. But I knew that I had anxiety, so I was fighting it. So as much as I was able to stand in front of these judges to audition, and it turns out to be one of the toughest auditions I've ever been in, I ended up creating it was so chaotic. And we do not have time for me to tell you how chaotic it was, because I was moving from one side to the other. Like, there was someone taking videos. I was supposed to stand in one point, but I found myself in different positions, to a point whereby the panelists asked if I was okay, because it seemed like I will fall down at any minute. I was sweating. I was sweating. I was pitching. Like, my voice was good. And I tried my best to sing, but one of the questions I remember that one of the judges asked me was, if you are anxious and you are panicking, and we are only three, there were 3 judges and 1 cameraman. If there were only 4 in the room, and then they do shows for 10,000 people, how are you going to perform for 10,000 people? And that is how I never got that interview. And I remember it changed everything about me, because I remember even after the audition, I walked out in my heels. I'm still shaking and I'm so anxious, and I ended up falling, and I got a scar on my leg. And I remember, I think that was the time where I decided that I am going to be prepared. I'm going to put my anxiety aside, and when I feel like it's getting there, I have tactics that help me to calm down, like taking deep breaths. I journal, I write, I de-stress after the day. I journal, I write the things that have happened that day. I analyze my day, and then I do not, the moment I find myself stressing or getting anxious about something that is about to happen, I remind myself that it hasn't happened, and I need to be patient enough to wait for what is about to happen. And if something does go wrong, I will find a way to handle it then, and learning to trust myself, because I think the major issue was not trusting myself and not thinking that I'm good enough. So you should find out what is the base of the fear. Yeah, so that's it. Make sure that your anxiety is not is not making you lose or gain weight. And if you want to lose or gain weight, ensure that it's something that you want to do and you're in control of it. And that's the end of our episode. I hope you have learned a lot. I hope that you are going this is going to help you, especially when it comes to taking care of your body. And remember, we are learning to live a balanced life. We are learning to live a life that is balanced in terms of the body, the heart, the mind, the soul. So I would like to give a shout out to two of my sponsors, and I'm going to start with the one who sponsored my outfit today. So my dress, my lovely dress, and you see all the bling, and I'm going to stand and you'll see it. Comes from Vestito, Kenya. You can find them on Instagram, Facebook. They have amazing, elegant outfits. If you want to look official, classy, you can get your casual look as well. You want to look elegant and casual. You want to look elegant and official. You want to look elegant in that sunny dress, or they're your plug. Check them out on social media and ensure that you say that I referred you. As well as my videos are done by Kings Media. Kings Media, you can find them on Instagram, Facebook, and all the social media platforms. Thank you so much, Kings Media, for doing my videos. I am having a great time. Thank you so much. Bye.